This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and now for something a little different. I don't often have time to do accessories, but the folks at Nixplay said, let us send you our photo frame for review. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't really do those. And they said, wait, this one really doesn't suck. And I was like, you know, I'm a photographer. I'd love to take pictures. The desktop photos that I use on our laptop reviews that you guys ask for, I take photos all the time. And in the old days, I had a Sony photo frame. It was really nice. It died eventually. Sony made good quality displays for their photo frames, and everything now is really pretty terrible out there. Or they have user interfaces that are just mind-bogglingly bad. I have an HP photo frame I've owned for 3 years. I still can't remember how to do anything on it. So Nixplay here, they have really lovely displays here. I mean, we're talking IPS level displays. It almost looks a little like Sharp IGZO. It's so vibrant. It's a matte display. The user interface is easy to use, and they have the Wi-Fi cloud frame model that we have here. So if you have stuff on Instagram or on Flickr, a variety of cloud sharing services, instead of loading everything onto an SD card, which you could do if you wanted, or a USB flash drive, you can just have it sync up to your cloud accounts, making things really easy. So Mother's Day is coming, Father's Day coming here in the United States. Good gift probably, but it's just a wonderful product for any photographer in your family or for yourself. So we're going to look at it now. Wi-Fi cloud frame, that's the larger model. It's not cheap, it's $249, but you know, if you're really enthusiastic about your photographs and you want them to look as good on your photo frame as they do on your high-end laptop or desktop monitor, this is one of the few I've seen that actually really looks that good. There's also an 8-inch model available, and that one's only $129. Now that's 8-inch and 720p. This is full HD 1920 by 1080. It has an anti-glare display on it, a rubbery minimalist black frame on it. It's the kind of thing that, you know, it won't dent your furniture. And it has a stand that is removable here. And there's a slot on the side too, so if you'd rather have it in portrait mode, you can do that. Besides showing photos in JPEG format and PNG, it can also play H.264 video, and it has actually a speaker on the back too, and a headphone jack on it. If we take a look on the side, that slot is for the stand. You can see we have an SD card in the frame right now. There's also a USB port if you want to have a thumb drive and plug it in there, though the cloud features really are the selling point on this, and I quickly just started to sync things to my Flickr account. By the way, if you like the pictures that you're seeing on the frame, those are photos that I took, and they're mostly on my Flickr page, so you can check that out. Power obviously plugs in over here, and there's back controls, which isn't unusual for a photo frame, but I have not had need to use them. Directional controls, your menu button and your power button over here. This piece being glossy, I don't know why you don't see the back, who cares? You have ventilation holes, and you got speaker grills on the back as well. And you notice the two little windows over here. One is for the remote control, the IR remote control, which is a pretty standard feature for a photo frame, and the other one is actually a motion control sensor. You can set it to turn on when it senses motion only, so when people come in the room, it starts showing pretty photos. When they leave, it stops showing pretty photos. Given that these don't use a lot of electricity, I just leave it in the always on time frame, and you can actually schedule it for on times and off times. So this is the remote it comes with, which is pretty self-explanatory. You got your home, you got your back, you got your power, your navigation, and quick access to the settings menu. That's often a baffling thing on some photo frames, honestly, just how to get to settings. And you can choose, get to your album list, your playlist, that sort of thing here as well. So let's take a look at the menus. We'll hit settings. Now these are actually pretty easy to understand and self-explanatory. Awesome right there. So you can choose it's going to shuffle through all of your playlists or not, and we have a Flickr playlist and Instagram playlist syncing to this right now. And right now we haven't filled the screen, so what it's going to do if you don't happen to have a 1920 by 1080 aspect ratio photo, which most of us don't, cameras tend to be 3:2, it's going to do some Ken Burnsing kind of effect. It's going to move across the frame and resize as it goes along. Now I'm going to change that so you can see what it looks like if we have fit to screen instead. If you have a lot of portrait orientation photos, but you're using this in landscape mode, you probably want fit to screen instead. Well, that's up to you. You have your clock, you got captions, lots of transitions here. I'm just going with a simple crossfade, but you see that there's a whole selection of transitions, and it can do random transitions as well. And you've got your sleep schedule. So I have it set to go off at 11 o'clock at night and to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. You've got your network settings. This has 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. It does not have 5 gigahertz, but that's okay. Display, you got your brightness and your volume controls. This is a 250 nit display, which would be pretty decent on a laptop. For a photo frame, it looks perfectly bright. Because in most home and office settings where you put these, you don't want something that is searingly bright, and it looks adequately bright and luminous, honestly. Your time zone, software updates, it'll do automatic software updates the first time you turn it on. It's all really pretty easy to work with there. And here you can go with starting your playlist. You can browse your playlist. You can choose the USB or SD card. And again, there's another way to get to settings. Now, one thing, you can play your cloud playlists, again, from Flickr, Facebook, wherever you want, or the USB or the SD. It won't mix them all together. I kind of wish that it would. And this is what it looks like if we have it set to actually show the photo in its entirety. It'll just put some black bars around them as needed. So if you've done perfect composition on your photos and you just don't want to have them Ken Burns or flying across the screen however slowly, well, this is the alternative here. It's nice to have a choice. And since it is a so-called cloud frame, if you don't want to control the frame directly, you can actually use the web interface. And if you want to set up your cloud playlist to sync to the frame, you're going to do it on Nixplay's website. Just go to nixplay.com and you can set it up, and it'll give you a first-time pairing code on the frame that you enter, and you set up your account. And it's pretty straightforward. We have it on our Surface Book over here, so it tells me how many photos I've got, how many frames I have, how many playlists I've created, friends. It's easy. So you can create albums and playlists. The only thing I found slightly confusing is that you start out with albums of photos and then you throw those into your playlists. I was like, well, okay, I create albums. Where are they? Oh, okay, I have to add them to a playlist afterwards. But it's not that hard. So you can see right here, you got mobile and social apps, Facebook, Google Photos, Instagram, Dropbox, and Flickr. So if you already have stuff on that, you can just sync it to the frame and you set it up right here and boom, it's sent to the frame pretty quickly. So it's easy. It's a really pretty display. The price is a little on the high side, but you know, you get what you pay for too. So that's the Nixplay Wi-Fi cloud frame. Again, it's available in 13-inch, which is what we have here, and that's full HD, and there's a 720p 8-inch model. It's not cheap, that's for sure, but if you're an enthusiastic photographer and you really want something that shows off your photographs nicely, honestly, I think it's worth the money if you can swing it. It's available on Amazon, and you can check out Nixplay's website to learn about the features and the other products they offer as well. But big thumbs up here. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more cool tech videos.